And this side with red, passing through the leg, we have the femoral artery, with blue the femoral vein, and with yellow the nerve.
I can let my body down, and when I let my body down, also stepping with a blade. So 1, 2, 1, and then inside, thrusting. When you make a cut,
Hi tribe, and welcome to this new video in which I will continue to share with you some of my knowledge. And in this particular episode I want to share with you some exercises that you can implement in your training when, for example, our target is not in front of us. Not all the time in a real situation the attack will come from in front. It can be from lateral, it can be from behind. So we must program our brain to be able to have a response, to be able to deploy the weapon and to hit the target also in this kind of situations. As you already know, I promote the idea of a protector, an individual that uses his skills to protect his own life, his family, and the ones around him. So it's very important also to understand that in tactical combat system we deploy our blade only in that particular situations when we must use deadly force. And as an example for the new ones, to make an idea, a real situation that was happening a few years ago in Paris, a terrorist was entering in a church with a knife and began to stab multiple civilians. So that is a particular situation in which you can deploy your blade to incapacitate or eliminate the target. Another very important aspect is to understand that I am teaching about ambush and counter ambush with the blade. So I'm not talking about fencing with a blade. One guy is taking the blade out, I'm taking also my blade out, and we are taking our guard position and we try to find the right places and the weak points in his technique in such a way that I can strike him and win that duel. I'm talking about ambushing and counter ambushing techniques. This means that it's very important to understand the reality of a knife attack. Bad people, criminal individuals, will close the distance, will not show you the knife, will close the distance, and they will find the right moment, the right time to attack you. They will use different kind of deceptive techniques to close that distance and to find you in the most good moment for them, so they can start their attack, delivering their blows. So understanding how a real situation with the blades is happening, it will help us also choose the right techniques that can increase our chances to survive in this kind of situations. For the ones that already they are following me for some time, you already know that in tactical combat system we follow some elements. Awareness, being able to identify in time a potential threat, being able to deploy fast our weapon under stress and pressure factors. Number 3 and number 4, striking fast, striking precise, they are coming together. And number 5, moving. Of course, for this you need also some basic knowledge in human anatomy, so you know where to strike and what kind of reaction the target will have when you strike that particular area, and other kind of skills that they are requiring to give you the right knowledge, the right mindset in such a way that you can increase your chances of surviving in this kind of ambush or counter ambush situations. Another very important thing that all the time I'm repeating is that here the techniques that I'm showing you in these videos are basic, simple techniques. In reality, my target, it will not be a fixed target. In reality, it will oppose resistance, it will have his own movements, it will have his own attacks. it will have unpredictable movements, so everything will change. These are some basic drills that they are helping you develop some attributes, like, I don't know, increase your precision, being much faster, programming your brain to have a particular response in a particular situation. But it's only the basics that it will help you after passing to the next level, in which you come with different kind of scenarios, with partners that are opposing resistance, with different kind of stress and pressure factors. So I'm only showing you some principle. Like in other videos, I was showing you a combination of knowledge with human anatomy, what is happening when you strike a particular area, and so on. So only some ideas that you can take and implement in your training in such a way that you increase your chances of surviving, of course, in this kind of situations, and also that I am helping you identify the right way of training and the right things that you can choose or you must choose to implement in your training. Another important topic that I want to discuss very fast is to understand that I am teaching techniques to incapacitate and eliminate the target. So these, again, I repeat, are for that particular situations that are requiring use of deadly force. I'm not talking about, I don't know, hand-to-hand combat in which you are losing control, you are taking your blade and you stab your, I don't know, aggressor or multiple aggressors. I'm talking about that situation in which the only tool that you have, it's a blade, and the only thing that you can do to stop your target, to kill other innocent civilians around you or your family or you in your person, is to use that tool to eliminate the target. And I was giving an example at the beginning. There are so multiple scenarios. We are not talking about scenarios, but I repeat, these techniques are techniques to eliminate the target. Many comments I have from some people that they are not understanding this and they are saying these techniques are deadly and you will go to prison. Guys, again, I underline this. These are not for a hand-to-hand combat in which you are taking your blade and you stab that person. Why we are studying, for example, ambushing? Because, for example, if you are in a particular scenario, I give you only an idea now. Of course, in reality, everything is changing. Of course, I'm not promoting the idea of using the blade against fire weapons, for example. I'm also an instructor of fire weapons, and I remain to the idea that fire weapon must be the main weapon of choice. But let's say you are in a situation in which you are with your child or your family, can be a hotel, can be, I don't know, a building in which an active shooter scenario is happening, and the only thing that you have is a blade, because in many countries, especially in Europe, civilians are not allowed to carry fire weapons. So if your only weapon is remaining a knife and you are barricading yourself in that particular room and you are, I don't know, waiting for that moment if the active shooter is wanted to penetrate, to enter in the room, you must use ambush techniques, finding the right position, finding the right corner, finding the right space and the right time to use that weapon and to try to eliminate the target, because only that is remaining to protect your family. So that is a use of ambushing technique. Yeah, if you are thinking of counter ambushing technique, means that you must be prepared, having the right mindset and also the tactics, so you are not finding yourself in that situation in which it's too late to deploy your blade. Because again, I repeat, bad people will use deceptive techniques and they will close the distance in such a way that it will be too late to put that blade in the fight. And for this I have so many videos in the past in which I was showing you these dirty tactics using the blade, how to conceal it, how to prepare it, how to identify particular I don't know, signs that they are showing you that can be a potential threat, and you can prepare your blade to be ready to use it if it's needed. So I have for today, my target is behind me, and of course the first thing that we are doing is identifying the target. We have the elements Awareness is the first. Meaning that if I am all the time focused on the telephone, focused on what I'm doing, speaking on the telephone, thinking of my thoughts, of my, I don't know, different kind of activities that I'm doing, but I'm not scanning around me, I will not be able to identify a potential threat. And also in this situation, I want to understand that I'm only showing you a principle. Of course, that if the target is already here and you didn't identify it until now, and he's approaching, here's the blade, it's already too late, you will take that blows, yeah? You don't have time in that moment to deploy your blade and to operate. But in this drill, I'm only showing you some basic principles that you can implement in your own training. So first, what we need is identifying the training. So if I'm scanning around, I can also be able to identify that this is approaching me and maybe he has the blade in his hand. I'm not talking about scenarios. Again, you can make your own scenarios. So I am identifying the target and then I am passing to deploy my blade. Yeah. So let's say that here, for example, I have a wall. Yeah, I really have more here, it's a wall. So I don't have the possibility to run in that moment. Or maybe I have also my daughter with me, or I don't know, another part of my family that I must protect, or different kind of scenarios. So I'm carrying my blade in the appendix position. And again, I repeat, why? Because this carry is suitable for me. I also carry, when I carry my fire weapon in the appendix position, so this means that when I'm training these movements, I must not force my brain to learn different movements. My left hand will do the same thing, taking the clothes, the t-shirt or what I have, the jacket, take it, and then I am taking with the right hand my handgun. The same with the blade, taking up, taking the blade outside. So this hand is doing the same movement, and if I'm switching on the other side, is the same. But this doesn't mean that this concealed carry is suitable also for you. Again, I repeat, if you have 120 kilos and you have a belly like this and you carry in the appendix position the knife or the blade, you understand from the beginning that it will be very hard to deploy your weapon in this kind of conditions. This is the reason why in the past I was making videos showing you different kind of methods in which you can carry your blades. So you must choose and test different kind of concealed carry methods in such a way that you find the right one for you. So I identify the target, then I'm going with my hand, catching my clothes, my shirt, and liberating my blade in such a way that I am coming with a knife, with a hand on it. Another very important idea, when I'm making this deployment, I was seeing many people doing in this way, taking the shirt, coming here and taking the blade or the gun. And you must understand two main factors. When we are talking about a real situation, the adrenaline will rush in your body and a lot of changes will happen inside you. One of it is fine motor skills will not operate at the same level, increasing of the respiration, increasing of the heartbeats, I don't know, blood is redirecting to big groups of muscles, tunnel vision appearing, it's appearing the tunnel vision, the brain cannot operate complex activities and so on. So because of that situation, when I'm making this, it can happen that when you take your blade to block in your t-shirt, in your jacket, in your clothes, the same with the gun. So this is the reason why I prefer, when I am catching the clothes, to come in diagonal in such a way that my t-shirt is stretching on my body and the blade, for example, in this situation, is ready to be deployed. So I eliminate this risk factor that I block my hand with the blade or with the gun in that garment. So another important thing is also to understand that, for example, I'm training now with a training blade, yeah, and I recommend this to you. I encourage you at the beginning, when you learn techniques, to train with a training blade until you learn very good the movements, and then of course you must make the same thing with your real blade, yeah, because it will be something different. If your blade, if your real blade is coming also with a training model, then it's very good, because it will be like the same weight or the same characteristics, yeah. If not, make all the time, also with the training blade. I don't have now the same like in the real, because I'm training. When I'm training with my real blade, but for these videos I'm using a training one to encourage also you to not work from the beginning with real blades, because the chances that you cut yourself are very high, and you don't want this. We want to train ourselves until we reach a good level, and then we can also pass to work with a real blade. So what I am doing is identifying the target, then I am going to make the deployment. I am going in diagonal, liberate my blade, catching in a reverse grip from this position, catching in the reverse grip, twisting towards my target, and deliver my strike. Normally, I will show you after, but now I make it on steps in such a way that you understand the movements. But normally all this, it must come with movement. So if now I'm showing you this, like identify, deploy, strike, move, in reality all this must be together. So I identify, strike, and move. So striking and moving must come in the same time. Why? Because if it's real going to it's engaging you in an attack, and you are making 1, 2 striking, and maybe again I repeat, now in this particular situation I'm striking to the trachea, or I'm going for the eye. But in this particular situation I was aiming for the trachea. Again I repeat, trachea is a shock zone. Even if you take only a punch in your trachea, or I don't know, a powerful hit in your trachea, you will feel the sensation, the shock of it. Your body will stop in that moment, the hands will go, and you have this kind of reaction. Of course, a powerful punch can also break the trachea. But now imagine a blade that is penetrating that trachea. So I'm thrusting with my blade, entering in that trachea, and of course, if you remember, I was combining in the past the entering in the trachea, and then in the lateral we have the carotid arteries, left and right. So if I'm penetrating the trachea and I have a double-edged knife, or maybe a one-edged knife, I have the edge knife, for example, now let's say in the orientated to the his left carotid artery, and when I'm inside, when I'm taking my blade, I am twisting. If I'm showing you now, it's showing you with the obake. If I'm entering inside the trachea, and here is the carotid artery, then when I'm going out, I'm only making this movement angle from my blade and rip towards me that carotid artery and also jugular vein. So we have after a shock strike and also another deadly strike, that is the carotid artery, but again I repeat, blood vessels, cutting the blood vessels, lacerating the blood vessels is not a shock strike, meaning that he will not stop his main action in that moment. It will take some minutes until he will lose the amount of blood to die, or until 1 minute to lose his conscience, depending on his mass, depending on how deep the laceration was made, and so on. In exchange, striking the trachea, striking the eye, striking the kidneys, heart, are shock points that it's stopping from in that moment from the initial action. And even in the heart, not all the places of the heart. I was discussing about this in a past video. So I'm striking the trachea, aiming that trachea, lacerating that blood vessels, and of course doing this in the same movement. If I am first identifying, twisting, striking that trachea, but let's say in reality here again we are developing an attribute to learn the brain, to have precision to one point, to change his body, the body position, to be able to strike from different positions and to move. But in reality, only making this from the target point of view, then your strike, you are aiming to the trachea, to the neck, can miss. Yeah. So if I am missing, or even if I'm hitting only the neck, but in lateral or shoulder, or I don't know what kind of situation is happening, and I'm not aiming correctly, then I was missing and I'm still in a vulnerable point in which my target will begin his attack. He will deliver his strikes. This is the reason why it's important to strike and move. So if I'm identifying, I'm striking, and already my body is going from that X. Yeah. So in tactical combat system, our main goal, exactly where we are talking also about shooting. If I have, for example, a target, not this, let's say behind me, because this is too close, but if I have a target behind me, more far, that I identify that already is taking me in the aim, it's aiming to shoot me, and then I'm staying on the place, making this, or twisting, and then deploying my weapon, and aiming and shooting, I'm already dead, yeah, if it's a good shooter. The same here. If I'm staying on the same place, I will be strike. If I am with a handgun, the same, I must deploy, start to move, and from moving, shooting with my weapon. Here is the same, I'm moving and begin, I'm also delivering the strike. And here I'm moving in this direction. But can happen that here near you have a wall, or I don't know what it's the situation, you cannot pass in this direction, and the only corridor in which you can create space it's in your lateral, so my movement, it will not be anymore in that direction, it's striking and going in the way in which I have possibility to create the space. So in tactical combat system, we must understand that we have striking, moving. If we can make this in the same time, it's the best thing to do. Staying on the same place, it will lead to receive the target's, the aggressor blows. Again, guys, a very important element. Of course, that my target is fixed, and it's simple to twist and to strike in the same place. In reality, it will be in movement. So this is also the reason why, if I'm staying in this place and I'm seeing that it's already coming towards me, means that until I will deploy, doesn't matter how fast I am, until I will deploy my weapon to strike, my target, it will be more and more close because it's moving towards me. So when I'm making this kind of movement, means that the distance that I was appreciating, it will be more and more close and more hard to strike there. This is also why it's so good that we are seeing and striking and moving. Because by moving, even if I'm moving and he's continuing fast, my knife will meet his body, yeah, because he's continuing his movement. So this is also another thing why striking and moving is very good to be done in the same time. Yeah, not only that I'm escaping by making this and already move, I am in the distance only by making a long step. In the same time that I'm striking, I am already in a distance that I am exiting from that X. And what you see me here, I'm making only one step because I don't have space. The room in which I'm filming now in this moment is not so big, so I'm stopping there. But when you are in a real situation, you are continuing. Making distance means that I'm striking, putting my eyes, continuing to look the target, but creating distance, 3-4 meters, yeah? So if you are if you have the luxury of space, if you are in a confined space, like elevator, like very short room, then the situation is changing. And I was having also some videos about this in the past. So understand that movement is key. We have fast strike, precise strike, and movement. For being precise, I again repeat to you, put a tennis ball, catch it with a rope, make it balance and begin to make your strikes on that tennis ball, moving continuously and to strike it. It's increasing your precision. I have in the new book that it will be finishing probably tomorrow or the next days. It's already on the end, the way of the blade, I am working at it with my own drawings, with my own instruction about what I'm teaching you here, but also put it in a book format. I'm not a writer, I'm not speaking or writing so good English. I'm trying only to share this knowledge on different kind of medium in such a way that can arrive to you guys to help you to come as a support in your learning process. Of course, you cannot learn all these things by reading a book or watching a video with me. The main thing is to go and train, to put the hands-on training, to find a good instructor and to train with him. Doesn't matter, I don't say train with me, train my style, train what I'm teaching, doesn't matter this. If what you learn is following that elements, awareness, being able to identify potential threats in time, deploying fast your weapon, because you will not be with your weapon on the street like this, gun or knife in your hand. You must carry in a concealed carry, and you must be able to deploy it under stress and pressure factors. If that technique or system is teaching you to strike fast, to strike precise, to increase this, and to move simple and efficient techniques, not complicated stuff, then you can test it and implement it in your training. The main idea and my main role is to share with you some knowledge that can create protectors, individuals that wants to be better in different kind of skills, and if the situation will require to use that skills to protect his own life, I don't know, his family and the ones around him. And this doesn't include only knife, it's including fire weapons, tactical medicine. Again, I repeat, with what is helping me if I am able to eliminate a target, like in the situation, for example, in a church or I don't know where, like I was telling you at the beginning, but until I was eliminated, one of my family members or the ones around me are injured very bad, they have massive bleeding, and in a few minutes they are dying, or maybe me. If I don't know some medical trauma skills, if I don't know to stop a bleeding, to apply a tourniquet, to put a chest seal, and so on. Yeah, so very, very important elements that you must understand. So again, what we have here, identification. This exercise, of course, can be put in the future in a complex scenario with partners, with different kind of partners who want to be the aggressor. You can combine it also with the NLP, with the neuro-linguistic programming. You can sit in a normal position, trying to breathe, trying to relax, trying to induce yourself a relaxation stage, to use visualization in such a way that you take your brain from your gym, from your training place, from your people that you train with, and go, I don't know, relax. Imagine yourself being with your daughter, being with your family on the street, eating ice cream, staying at the terrace, doesn't matter. You can put also a chair, and then when you have a big noise when one of your partner is saying contact, or I don't know what kind of sound you want to use, then from that stage of mind in which you are relaxed, you identify, strike and move. So you must switch your brain from a relaxed stage of mind to a fighting combat stage of mind. And that is the most important thing, because in reality it will happen. Again, I repeat, you will not be in a fighting stance or a stage of mind in which you are all the time prepared. You will be with your family, you could be relaxed, or maybe you'll be at work, on the street, in other daily activities, and suddenly something is happening. You must switch very fast from that relaxed stage of mind to a combat mindset. So these exercises you can make it the same, in which some partners, okay, using some protection for the face or so on, and you must apply this kind of techniques. You can use different things like the ice bucket with water and ice, put your fingers inside, let your hands there minutes in such a way that you don't feel the fingers anymore, then perform this kind of techniques, because in a real situation your fine motor skills will not operate the same. This is the idea why I say to you every time that fixed blade, it's more important and more good than a folding knife. If I have, for example, a folding knife
like this. This is a CRKT, a normal model, and I carry in my pocket, and my fine motor skills will not operate the same, and I have now an ambush from 2 meters, somebody is coming with a knife or I don't know what kind of situation, and I must deploy it from my pocket. Use my finger, that is fine motor skill, to open the blade, protect the ones that is around me, or my family member, or who is near me, and then use the knife. It's too late, yeah? It's too late. The same with the training in warm environment and going in cold environment, it will be the same with the fingers. So try in the future to apply different kinds of methods that I was saying, showing to you in many videos, in such a way that you simulate these kind of changes. So again, here identifying my target, deploying my blade, take my blade out, stabbing, but in the same time moving. Yeah, I have here 1, 2, only to see the idea of how how they are coming all together like a puzzle. But in reality, it must be a fluid movement in which I am striking, moving, precise. And of course, you can do it also from the other side. Maybe you identify the target, you are here, and you twist on the left side and you identify the target. So this doesn't mean that I was training only with this hand and now I must twist and come on the other side to strike. So if I'm here, I'm striking with my left hand, deploying, take my Garmin and take my blade with the left hand. This is the reason why I encourage you to train all the time with the both. Another very important thing, why I'm striking, not what is helping this strike to the trachea, not only this, but imagine that, for example, even if I'm not hitting the trachea and my blade is going, for example, towards the face, if I am the one that is the aggressor and I want to deliver a strike from up down, let's say, I'm only choosing this that is using the force, the body force from up down, and he wants to deliver this strike or a slash to slash you with the knife. I want to deliver to my target, and my target is stabbing me towards the chest in the lower part. Imagine what is happening when you take a punch in the stomach and you are without air. A ball, when you play football, doesn't matter. What kind of hit you take here, with the blade it will be the same. Your body will make this. This is the normal way of reacting to this kind of strikes. So if he's making an attack with the blade from up down and you strike with the blade at the level of the chest, for example, here, the xiphoid process, abdomen, and so on, under the sternum bone, then even if you strike, his strike, he will continue. He will still continue to deliver his from inertia. So his body will go towards you and he can deliver this strike. But if you are in this position and you strike towards the face, I'm not saying now about the trachea, because trachea, if you manage to hit that trachea, is normal. The normal reaction, it will go immediately with the hands there. But if you are striking, for example, face, the reaction when you strike this is going covering with the hands or going to protect his face, but also the body is not moving towards the hit, but wants to on the back. So this is another idea to understand that when he's in this situation, like he wants to strike and is taking a direct blade in his face, his initial movement, it will not continue like the other one, in which the inertia, the physics, is bringing him to strike you, yeah? So very, very simple concept. So guys, now I will show you an exercise that you can do to train and to develop, for example, a better explosion in this movement for this particular drill. So we must train that particular muscles that they are helping to make this movement. So what I recommend, a rubber resistor band like this one, I keep it on my target, but now I'm not hitting the target. This I use only to catch my rubber resistant band on it. And now let's say my target is behind me in this position. So what I'm doing, I'm only putting 2 times or 1 time, doesn't matter how you want, on your hand, and then you stay in a normal position. Then you want to make the deployment, and then from this position I am twisting my body, striking behind. So using the core of my body, using the core to create this movement, twisting around and strike. I'm not doing other thing, only this particular movement. From here, twisting, striking with explosion. After you make some repetitions, you can put the blade inside and you make a deployment. Again, inside, identify, using only the body, twisting. And of course you can make it how much you want. You can put it 1 time, you can put it 2 times on your hand, or 3 times, and make the same exercise. 1, 2, twist it. And of course, changing also on the other side and make the same. This particular exercise will develop you this movement, so you'll have more explosion and you will be more fast when you want to deliver this kind of strike. Another exercise that I recommend to you, and I also make it, it's here I have a 10 kilo kettlebell. Normally it's too much. You must have like 3 kilo, 4 kilo, 5 maximum, and you try to make the exercise that I'm showing you. We don't want to work with a lot of weights for this particular exercises because we want to have explosion in the movement. Yeah, we are not making like bodybuilding exercises with weights. But if you are having this kind of weights, or if something much better, if you are having, for example, for the wrist, these bands with weights that you are catching, like it's coming like a wrist with weights, 1 kilo, 2 kilos, then you can make this kind of movements and other techniques we did on the hands, so it will help you increase your explosion in the movements. When it's too much, it will not help you so much as when you have a more smaller amount of mass of weight. So what I'm doing, I'm only showing you the exercise. Again, remember, it's too much. This you must do with smaller amount of not 10 kilos, I don't know, 5 maximum. So what I'm doing from the same position, I'm trying, if I have the target here, okay, but I'm showing you here to the back so you see better the movement. So from a normal position, I'm trying to make the same movement using my blade and remaining with the blade up for a few seconds, bringing back, twisting my core, going with the blade up, remaining with my hand there, bringing back, again, remaining, bringing back, again, remaining, bringing back, again, bringing back, hit, the same movement, remain there, bringing back. So this kind of exercise will help you, again I repeat, with smaller weights, will help you develop the same muscles that you need to perform this kind of strike with explosion. So this with the rubber resistant band, this with a kettlebell or with the wrist weights, it will help you if you can implement it in your training. Okay tribe, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed the content that I was creating for you. Don't forget, stay tuned, few days and the book is ready, The Way of the Knife. Unique book with my own drawings, with my own instructions, showing you all the things that you are seeing until now in these videos, but much more, in such a way that I can offer you another way of supporting you in the process of learning to use this tool, the knife, and to become, of course, better protectors. Train, stay safe, and don't forget every time to not follow and to not repeat automatically what somebody is showing you or what you are seeing. First, try to put yourself questions, and after, when you are seeing that technique is following the main characteristics that I was telling you: awareness, deploying fast your weapon, striking fast, striking precise, and movement, then you can also implement it in your training. Stay safe.